Spoiler alert, we all have 24 hours in a day, so no one has more time than you do. Now, think about it this way. Now, this seems like the harsh reality, but I'm just going to say it how it is. If you ever say, I do not have time for that, switch around your words. Say, I don't prioritize it. Now, again, that might seem harsh, but it really is the truth. Because if you say, I don't have time to go to the gym, or I don't have time to work out, no, well, you do have time, but maybe you spend 30 minutes at the end of the day watching Netflix, or maybe you spend 30 minutes scrolling on your phone. Now then you've made a priority. Now, again, like I said, this is the harsh reality of it, but it really is true because we really do have enough time to do most of the things that we want in a day, but we really just need to figure out what are my priorities. Set your priorities straight, and then time management is not going to be an issue. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how you can prioritize your life, how you can make sure that your time is your own, and that everything is done in the most productive way. First and foremost, tip number one is set your goals. Now, not only set your goals, but also set your rewards. The reason why setting rewards is also so pertinent is because then it gives you some motivation to accomplish those goals. For example, so my goal right now is currently to get to 500 subscribers. I only have 200 and I want to get to 500. Now, once I get to 500, I am going to reward myself by buying myself a camera to make tons of better videos for you guys. So actually, to help me get that camera, it would be so appreciated if you go down below, just hit that subscribe button. It would help me so much with my channel, and it will also help you guys get better videos. But anyways, so now I am more motivated to get those subscribers because now I have a reward. So setting those goals, setting those rewards are very important to time management. Tip number two is to set a list of things that need to be done. Now, when you set that list, put things in smaller, manageable chunks. Because if you make things in large chunks, it's going to be so much harder to get that done. So for instance, let's say you have, I don't know, certain emails or certain work things to get done. Actually list out all those work things that you need to do. So when you check them off, they're a little bit more manageable. Because if you just see, get work stuff done, that looks so intimidating. But if you say, like, do my emails, it's like, oh, okay, I could do that. Now, once you put those things in a manageable list, now we need to prioritize. So that's going to be our next tip. That's going to be tip number three. Because essentially, most of the time, now I'm speaking from experience with this, most of the time, we, meaning me, I wake up and do the easiest things because I'm like, oh, I want to feel productive. I want to check those things off my list. But then what happens is those hardest pieces are saved to the back burner. Those are the things that then get procrastinated because you put them to the back burner. Or those are the things that you need to do at the end of the day once you're dead tired. And now you're not doing it in the most productive way, or you're not getting the most out of what you're doing. And then it's actually counterproductive at that point. So really make sure that you guys prioritize what is the first thing that you should do, and then what's the last thing that you should do by order of importance. The next one is going to be set a schedule for yourself. Once you have that list and once you prioritize things, then say, okay, what am I going to do at every hour of every single day? The one thing that is really important about that is when you set your schedule, you have to put realistic times of how long it takes you to do something. Because if you say, oh, I'm going to do my emails in the morning and I'm going to give myself 3 hours for that, you're going to dilly-dally and you're going to spend every minute of those 3 hours to do your emails. Now, if you give yourself only 20 minutes to get all your emails done and you know you have tons of emails, so that's not enough time, then you're going to be rushing, you're going to be stressing out, and you're not going to do it to the utmost capacity because you're going to be rushing through just trying to get your emails done because you got to get on to the next task. So you got to find that sweet spot of not having too much time, but also not having too little time where you're able to be productive and get things done at the best capacity. Actually, one quote that I heard that kind of emulates exactly what I just said: work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. And that's exactly what I was talking about before. It basically is called like the Parkinson law, and if you have 3 hours to do something, you're gonna fill that 3 hours. Even if it's with just pointless work, you're going to try and fill that hour or that 3 hours or however, the given time is that you allotted for that task. So really, really make sure that you set the absolute best time to complete all your given tasks. The next one that is so, so important is do not multitask. We think that we're so good at multitasking. We're trying to, be on the phone and do our emails here and do all these different things, but it doesn't work. You basically half-ass everything that you do, and then you're not as productive. And also, a lot of times you don't get things done as quickly as you should. So let's say we really want to relax, but we have some things that we need to do. And we scroll on our phone for a little, and then we do an email, and then we scroll on our phone and get our email done. You're not really fully engaged in both things that you do. So you're not really relaxing, and you're also not really working. So how about just separate things? Don't multitask, just do the work that needs to be done. And then kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with kind of setting those goals and rewards. But set that and say, I'm gonna do all my emails. Once I get my emails done, then I can take a 10-minute break and scroll on Instagram. And also with that, I know this isn't a point that I made here, but just kind of came up in a conversation here, but make sure that you give yourself breaks. Giving yourself breaks is really good because it kind of helps clear your mind, but make sure that you don't give too many breaks because then we result back to being not productive. Our next tip is block out distractions. Now, if you know that your distraction is your phone, put it on silent, put it on airplane mode, put it in a different room, shut off notifications, do whatever you have to do to get stuff done. Now, obviously, if a lot of your job is on your phone or on your computer, then it's really hard to shut out notifications. But for example, I completely disconnected myself from Facebook. I also completely disconnected myself from Instagram. The only ones that I have is obviously my business one for both of those social medias, but I disconnected myself from personal social media. Now, the reason why that's so important is because it also helps me get so many more things done. I find myself scrolling on those medias less. Now, I can still go on it if I want because I did not deactivate it, but it just makes things so much more productive. Now, if that thing is your dog or your family or someone that keeps popping in the room trying to hang out with you, let them know your boundaries. Let them know, even if I'm working from home or even if I'm doing this, these are my times that I'm going to not be available. This is my lunch break. This is when I'm off. Set kind of those definitive times and let your family, I know you can't really let your dog know that, but you could still just kind of, entertain with him with some toy or do something like that, just so you have your time to work and then it becomes the most productive time. This one might seem a little bit weird, but it's planning your meals ahead. The reason why planning your meals ahead and doing a little bit of meal prep is so important is because let's say you have to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for every day of the week. Then when you wake up, you have to get all the utensils out, you have to turn on the stove, do all those things. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but time really adds up. Rather than if you say, okay, just on Sunday, that's gonna be my meal prep day. So then what you could do is get all the utensils out, get the pots and pans, and you only need to wash them once, you only need to do everything once because you do all your meal prep at one given time. So that helps save so much time throughout the week, so then you could be more productive and just go in the fridge and kind of pull out your lunch and go ahead, heat it up, throw it in the oven, and then now you can go ahead and continue with your work or your relaxing or whatever you're doing at that given time. Also, don't get lost in the details. Some of us try to be perfectionists, and when we type out an email, we want everything to be perfect. Or when we make a YouTube video like this, we want it to be okay, right there. We want it to be absolutely perfect, but we're gonna make mistakes like that. Can't believe I just said that. But we want it to be perfect. And it's not always going to be perfect. And that is a perfect example. So in this case, it's really important to just say, I'm gonna make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. Because the reason why it's so important to not be a perfectionist is because it spends so much more time. making that one small little tweak to a project or to whatever you need to be doing at work, or even not at work, but just making that small little tweak might take so long to get it to that next level that it really doesn't outweigh the benefits. It doesn't really, outweigh the drawbacks of sitting there so much longer, working on that task. So try and lose sight of that and not worry about everything being perfect. Our next tip is surround yourself with motivated people. Surround yourself with other people that are inspired, that want to have the same time management, the same positivity that you do. Even just coming to this channel and getting some motivated energy to then go back and kill the day, that is also great. Even if it's not something that you actually know, even though maybe I feel like, we know each other a little bit. So just surround yourself with people that are motivated like that, because the more that you surround yourself, the more that you're going to become that. You actually are kind of a combination of the 5 closest people to you. So if you find 5 people that are close to you that also want to worry about time management, or also care about being productive, or care about being motivated in their business, or being motivated in their schoolwork, or essentially anything that they're doing, it really helps you ground yourself as well, and really helps you to have the best possible life that you could live too. I know I've mentioned all of these things, but the last and final tip is you do not need to do all of these at once. And I cannot stress it enough. You do not need to do all of these tips at once. Change one small little thing. Maybe start trying to wake up earlier. Oh, actually, if you want a video on that, I have one above. But anyways, try and maybe start waking up a little bit earlier. Maybe start planning out your schedule. Maybe start meal prepping. But each week, maybe integrate something into your life. It really makes it a more smooth process, because if just you wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I'm gonna start trying to wake up earlier, I'm gonna meal plan, it's such a shift. Or maybe it's not, maybe you already do some of these things in your life. But if it is such a shift for you, you don't want that, because it's going to be so much harder to adapt into that new lifestyle. So I really suggest just kind of, tweaking things in your life as you go to make you a better person and to make your time management a little bit better. So with that, those are our 10 tips for time management. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you took something away from this. If you did, comment down below. Let me know if any of these are different from what you normally do in your life and what you're trying to do to implement better time management skills into your life as well. So with that, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys.